Alright, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Matt.
I'm Casey.
I'm Hunter.
No, I'm Daniel. Alright, I guess let's get this podcast underway.
Alright, I have no idea what this is gonna be called. Man, fucking words are hard, dude.
Fucking words are hard.
Just take a
That sounds
snap
like a
at
good
it.
name. Fucking words are hard.
Fucking words are hard.
Fucking words. Podcast edition.
Maybe not the fucking, maybe words are hard podcast.
Nah, fucking's okay.
Fucking words are hard.
Just put the little asterisk in there.
I see it. Top of iTunes.
Fucking words
are
hard.
Wait,
Okay, so
I'm being too optimistic. Top of iTunes.
Maybe the
Seeing as we don't have a fucking website.
If someone searches for us directly.
YouTube video. Fucking words are hard.
Yeah,
podcast.
There we go.
Yeah, it'll be a YouTube thing. Yeah, I tried SoundCloud, and then we could only host 3 at a time.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Why? Because they're so long.
they're just long, so you can only have like a certain amount of space on SoundCloud.
Unless you buy it.
so
I only have one song
why
on
are we
SoundCloud.
even here? What are we doing?
We're gonna talk about shit that we like.
Let's get it started then.
Fuck.
No.
All right, so it's almost the end of the year,
It is.
It is.
and a lot of shit has come out this year.
So fast.
Yeah, I know.
I don't remember half of it. So.
Exactly. Like, I was going through stuff that had like come out this year, and one like the big thing was like, I forgot like The Great Gatsby came out this year.
Hey,
Oh.
that doesn't affect. I never saw it.
Yeah, it was good.
I
saw it.
never affected.
But I didn't realize that it had even come out this year.
It came out in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
What other good movies came out this year?
I have Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
Never saw it.
that was
Never saw it.
That was one of my top movies. It just whole thing. I love those type of movies.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
fucking love it.
that's the same as like overall, like you can't consider it like a great movie by any means. There's so many plot holes and stuff, but it's just like the reason why I love like Furious 6 was one of my top movies of the year, even though it's plot wise is terrible. But
The 8-mile long runway.
yeah, I mean,
The end of the movie.
Come
It
on
just,
now.
it just kept going.
You know what Pacific Rim reminded me of? Why I think I didn't want to go see it? What's that movie where it's like shot from like the video camera? And then-
Cloverfield?
Cloverfield.
I fucking
That's-
love that movie.
that's one of
too.
my favorite movies ever.
It's
dude.
just like
I know a lot of people hate that movie, but I fucking
I-
love
I
it.
hated the movie.
I
but
love alien monster movies. Like,
I do too.
Those are classics and they're so fucking good.
And
I
I'm a
hated-
sucker for the found footage style video anyway.
Yeah,
like because
see-
I feel like it's so much harder to be able to, especially Cloverfield did it so good. Like
They
being able to pull off what they did in that style.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like because it's a forced perspective, and so yeah.
See, I like those movies better now than I did when I first saw that movie. Like, I hated that movie when I first saw it.
I mean, like a lot of people like it was probably a 50-50 on people liking Blair Witch Project, which is considered one of the first ones of that style,
Right,
yeah.
even though it wasn't. But
I just love it like that style just because it makes it so much more intense. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
It puts me in that
The camera-
situation. I feel like I'm behind the camera and it's just
the
like,
camera's a character. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it literally was.
It
in
literally was
Cloverfield.
HUD. Yeah, Cloverfield's
Yeah.
name was HUD. I mean, yeah.
I always think like it would be really hard to like edit and like put stuff in like the monster and like
Dude,
I don't
you ever
know,
seen
like-
the bonus features for
The
that
bonus
movie?
features are what sold me on that movie.
Most of that movie is shot within like a 3 square block radius, and like they
And
just
in a warehouse.
they just like hang these giant green screens, and then they'll just like put the rest of the city on the green screen. So like they're literally there might be on a in between 2 buildings, and then like there's a wall right here,
and maybe
but-
like a
but-
car
but-
in the street.
but they'll put a green screen up, and it'll make it look like that block just goes on
Yeah.
for like
Wow.
another 10
they
miles.
do crazy stuff with
Wow.
it. And
It's
it's amazing.
really cool.
Mhm.
I guess
Worth
I'm
a
gonna have
watch.
to give Pacific Rim a try.
Yeah, Pacific Rim is. I mean, it's good, but it's you can't forget to turn off your brain. when
Yeah,
you
you
go
can't
into it.
you
Like,
can't go into it thinking it's gonna be like this is gonna be like some of the best acting I've ever
The story
seen.
of the
It's gonna
year.
Yeah.
have the cheesy
mean-
lines. It's gonna have like
I mean, Charlie
But you're
Day
just
does deserve
supposed
an
to
Oscar
be
for
like-
that movie, though. Right?
Charlie Day was incredible.
but I mean still, it's just you gotta
You got-
go into it with the mindset you're seeing a monster movie.
Because
Not the best movies, but they are very entertaining.
my only
Very
problem with that movie,
entertaining.
minus the sword scene,
Oh my god, the fucking sword
the infamous
scene.
sword scene. I noticed that immediately. Like they're like about to die, and then all of a sudden they're like, she decides to pull out the sword, and they're like, you could have used that like 15 minutes ago, and this would have been over.
Come on. See, have you guys really growing up? You never remember Power Rangers,
Dude,
and
that's
they'd be
bullshit.
like,
The
"Oh
last
no, we're
second
gonna
we can
die,"
tr-
and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we got this like new attachment thing to it, and we're gonna pull it out last second, and we're gonna use it." It's just like,
How about every video game in the world?
yeah,
And
Fucking Legend of Zelda. You have to fucking shoot the arrow. Why the fuck didn't you just go in with an arrow? at the
First of
beginning?
all, you had the arrow. Zelda gave you the power of the light arrows to see.
it all leads
Daniel
up to
knows
that
his
moment.
shit.
Yeah.
It all leads up to that moment. They didn't know if the sword was even gonna work.
Although Sheik was helping you out the whole time, which was revealed Sheik is Zelda. So why couldn't Zelda just have given you the light arrows in the first place? Would have made every other boss battle a lot easier. Just saying.
Yeah.
Speaking of Zelda, did you hear about the new Zelda they announced?
The Warrior.
Yeah, it's
one?
like Dynasty Warriors
Yeah.
meets Legend of Zelda.
I saw
Hyrule
that.
Warriors, title not finished.
Yeah, it's like its title not finished.
or working title.
Yeah,
is what-
I did see that, and I thought it was
Like,
very
no,
cool.
Hyrule Warrior works.
What is it? I'm not very into the game Warrior. What is it?
Okay, did you ever play
Dynasty
Dynasty Warriors?
No,
at all?
I know what it's about. I know what it is. I've just never played it. But I've seen the trailer for the Zelda Dynasty Warriors, and it looks cool. And the thing I love about it is it's like officially not like the next Zelda game
Yeah.
coming out. It's just something they're doing just
Yeah,
for fun.
yeah.
So it's like
It's not
who
even
can
like
complain
Nintendo
about it?
is just like allowing them to use their character, but like Gundam, they've done a Gundam version, and all the Dynasty Warriors are the same shit. They're just a quick way to get calluses on your finger. Like, they're like fucking mashing buttons. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's
They,
what-
those games are literally just let me set you in front of a huge group of guys, and let's see if you could just destroy them all with these crazy attacks.
Well, it's like
And then you get like these super powered attacks, and which I'm assuming Link's is of course going to be his little
Yeah, you
spinning
see his-
thing,
the-
and he's
yeah,
just like,
He actually and he has one where he can throw like 3 or 4 bombs at a time. And,
Yeah.
Like,
So-
and he does like these
He has,
flips
like,
and
this-
shit.
well, and
It's
then he
pretty
had like the magic wand thing. Did you see that?
yeah, they kind of just like added some.
They
stuff,
added
like-
this thing where it's just like this fire wand that he just starts
no,
hitting.
that's in like Link Four Swords. They have a fire
Oh,
wand.
see, I never
I never
played it.
played that
So you
one.
need to die.
Guys,
That was
I'm
one of the
sorry.
shittier games,
No,
though.
No,
okay,
it
it wasn't.
overall,
No,
if you
no,
The-
you're
fine.
wrong.
Everyone loves Four Swords.
Four Swords.
What?
Four Swords
You're
was
wrong,
pretty
dude.
sweet. It took a whole. It was one of the first ones to step outside
I'm
and
just-
do something completely
The
different.
reason why I haven't played Four Swords is because Zelda Game Boy or DS games I'm not really into. Or
No.
I'm not gonna say I'm not really into. I haven't really got.
The more modern ones, I guess, are better. But like back on like anything pre like DS for them was
Right.
like very they were just so much like the NES versions.
That's
of Zelda.
what I yeah.
and that was fine for like the earlier stuff. I mean, like I played ages and seasons
And that just-
forever.
I guess that style of game just was it didn't hold through at the time.
It's really hard too.
that too.
It's just like
I mean, like-
not
Yeah, I
So-
mean, shit's way easier now.
linear. You know, you
Mhm.
have to
Yeah.
go like everywhere. You don't like. Sometimes I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking for. I'm just
Yeah, you've gone
Yeah.
in so many
Going-
circles.
trying to
just
kill
like,
chickens.
I mean,
don't
Pokemon
know.
was like
You
my,
don't kill
my
chickens,
only
right?
like, type of game like that.
You
I
can
would
hit
play,
chickens
really.
in that game, can you not?
No,
Yeah.
dude, you fucking get killed by chickens.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, you don't literally kill
You leave
chickens.
town, you're
you
okay.
beat up chickens and they
Yeah.
beat you back. Right?
Yeah, they will. Murder.
I mean, I've honestly never been a big. I'm not that I ever not liked it or anything. I've just never been a big Nintendo person to begin with. Therefore, I never was big into Zelda. Like I had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and played all those, but after that, like I never bothered with Twilight Princess or any of the.
Come
newer
on, you at
ones.
least played Wind Waker.
I played Wind Waker.
Wind
Yes, I did play the
Waker
GameCube
is
ones.
great.
Yeah,
That's all. Wind Waker is where you.
that was the
should
one in like
stop
the
if you
cell
stop.
shaded one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think Twilight Princess is a very important Zelda game.
I agree.
I love
Twilight
Twilight
Princess was
Princess.
great. I have not gotten around to playing.
Skyward Sword, I played it a little bit.
I
The,
played
the
whole
controls is what kills
That-
me on it.
Yeah.
That's the
I watched
problem.
Kevin play it, and I just could not get. Yeah, like it was too like the Motion Plus was.
Well, you just can't take him seriously if he's running around with holding his
Yeah,
sword
exactly.
up in the air
Look
the
like a
entire time.
retard.
He's like,
He's just like, yeah,
Link-
he's just literally
Link,
flailing.
you're
because
supposed to be like
he's supposed
my
to be
hero.
smooth. Like,
And, like,
he's a skilled combat warrior. He's not
Yeah,
supposed to be waving
my hand resting position is gonna be obviously gonna be different than the sword resting position. Therefore, like you should like if you could tell my hand is down like this, just sitting still like I'm holding a steering wheel or something like that. You know, it got like 9 and 3. Then
Yeah.
Can we just incorporate that
Just let his
into
hand
being-
drop. Like obviously, I'm not doing anything with it right now. Just put his hand in a resting spot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
He's
thought
not
that
carrying the Olympic torch.
if you're gonna put Zelda with Wii, it was fine. The controls are fine the way they did it with Twilight Princess. Just
Yeah.
you swing the controller, he swings his sword. It's the
That's all
Wii
you
Motion
needed.
Plus is what fucked it up.
They
It was
wanted
just
like you had full control of his right arm. It was just too
Yeah,
much.
And like I spent half that game trying to figure out how to look cool, like when you're running. So I would like put my arm like behind my back, so he would like.
But then you look
so he would,
retarded in real
hold me
life.
Okay, but I look so dumb.
Someone
like,
walks in and you're just like, it's not what it looks like.
like I had my brother walk in and be like, "What are you doing?
Why is your
Why are you
arm
doing
behind your
that?"
back?
Link's cool, okay?
But look at Link. He looks normal. I may look like a freak right now, but Link looks normal on screen.
I'm doing this for you, Link.
But yeah, apparently the storyline of that whole Skyward Sword is really badass, and the game
Yeah, it
itself
was
is
good.
badass. But
I haven't gotten around to it. I'm just saying you should at least give Wind Waker a try, or you should have given it a try.
I mean, I
And if you haven't played,
I will admit I was late to
Did they
Wind
do a
Waker.
remake for the Wii for it?
Yeah,
it's-
HD. It
and
looks,
it looks
pretty sweet.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely play it.
If I had a Wii fucking U.
Yeah, I know.
If anyone had a Wii U.
Wii fucking U. Dude, that's what they should have called it.
Wii fucking
They
U.
just announced so much shit for the Wii U though. Like
Wii U is
It's
just so many
so
vowels in
shit.
a row.
I bet you after this Christmas, Wii U's gonna get a lot bigger.
yeah, like but I feel like they've been losing money and shit.
Oh
Like
my God.
maybe
Yeah.
they did
Be-
not
well,
sell a whole lot.
Because they haven't like tried to bring anything new other than their like controlling system. They're just like, let's have a new like controller, and it's just like
So Wii
you
U
guys
in
weren't
HD.
going in that direction.
It's HD.
It's finally. an
It's,
HD.
it's the only console that comes with an HDMI cord.
Hey, that's pretty.
I think they had to do
amazing,
that just so
actually.
people would know out the box, like, oh, this one is HD.
Yeah.
I mean, because, like, what were they thinking with the Wii and only giving it 480p? Like,
Yeah.
I have
No.
no.
I mean, that is HD.
Idea.
Shit, that is HD 10 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember when my parents bought the first big rear projection TV and it had 480p, and we're sitting there staring at it and like, it's so beautiful. It's like now I just got a 1080p TV and I'm just like, how did I ever think that was good?
I
Like,
know.
This looks beautiful, but then 4K, I'm probably gonna be like one day I'm gonna be staring at my 4K TV and I'm like, how did I ever watch 1080p?
Exactly.
It keeps going. There is no stopping point.
No.
So wait, speaking of the HDMI cables coming with the consoles, does the PS4 and Xbox One come
I
with
don't
it?
believe
No.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Like you would
That-
think that they would. I mean, they're fucking $400
They
and
still come.
$500.
I know that like the 360 still came with the like the new slim lines, like those just still came with the component cables.
Yeah.
They didn't even
But-
come with the composite
I
anymore.
was about to say, but I mean, the thing is, by now everyone has an
The
HDMI
HDMI, yeah.
cable,
There's,
so
like-
That is true.
they're just kind of like, there's no point in us
I mean,
throwing
but
it
sometimes
in
you
there.
don't have like extras laying around. You have enough for what the device is, unless you're
Yeah,
replacing
right,
a device.
dude. We have like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you only have one HDMI port in your fucking TV.
That's my TV's fault.
But I feel
not
like that's
the
a common
system's
thing
fault.
for devices not to come with the HDMI cable. Like even the Apple TV doesn't come with
yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Well,
FYI.
I have extras upstairs, so I guess
one.
I was
they're
about to
just
say-
all like there's those kind of things that are always laying around
Yeah.
now. Everyone, because HDMI is just you need it for your Apple TV or
Yeah, I mean I've only got
a lot
two
of
devices. I got the Apple TV and my 360 that are hooked up through HDMI.
Yeah, my PlayStation.
The PlayStation. Yeah.
Caleb's laptop.
Yeah, when he runs it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got PS4, 360, Apple TV.
That's a PS3 by
PS
the way.
Oh, PS3.
I wish it was a PS4.
I wish it was a PS4 too.
That
Shit.
would be nice.
Yeah.
All right,
Wow.
but we also okay. There's like 3 things that I've just fucking missed that came out like this week.
Okay.
Fucking okay, that movie Her with Scarlett Johansson.
I mean,
she's like the
we-
talking voice.
We haven't checked it out, but yes.
Yeah, I mean we missed like it came out like and nobody knew it.
Don't
Well,
even know what you're talking
We
about.
knew it was coming
Her
out.
with Joaquin Phoenix.
It's got Joaquin Phoenix and like the robot voice is Scarlett Johansson.
I haven't seen the trailer yet.
You have not seen the trailer
Nope.
yet.
I've seen the poster and I've seen the Rotten Tomatoes rating, which was like 90%, I think.
I swore we watched. The other
Yeah,
day,
you put it
whatever
on
we
when
were-
you were just going through all the
Yeah,
trailers.
I missed it.
How?
I don't know how, but I did.
Okay, but I mean, we knew basically all that stuff was on its way and was gonna come out. So
Yeah, we'll give it a chance. What's next?
Anchorman 2.
yeah, that
I've heard
one.
mixed reviews on it.
I didn't hear anything
Did it
about
come
it.
out?
It
Yeah,
came out. It's already out.
It's out.
What?
It
Yeah.
came out.
It
This
came
week.
out yesterday.
Yeah. So-
I've heard a status that says it should be called Anchorman 2 hours of my life I'll never get back.
Really?
And then I've heard someone say Anchorman 2 was actually really great and really funny. But they like said something about one scene that was really like inappropriate, and they're like, "Oh, you know what scene I'm talking about if you've seen it." So
I don't know.
apparently,
I think people's definition of inappropriate is always different too.
I guess they just went to a really maybe gross level on a scene. I don't know.
I don't
It
know.
is
I don't know if anything could do that to me anymore.
Yeah.
After browsing what the fuck on Reddit.
Yeah, so I spent way too much time on that too. I'm just numb to everything. Like, I am honestly scared that one day I could like have someone die right in front of me and I not feel nothing from it.
The internet.
Like,
does
I would
that
still
to you.
just think it's just something I saw on the internet or like in a
I don't
movie.
think you get to that point. You might be in shock for a second. Like, wait, was that actually real? Did that just happen like before my eyes?
Mhm.
Then you say, "Man, I gotta put that on the internet."
Yeah.
Oh my
I'll be
God.
posting the no sleep after that. You're not gonna believe what happened last night.
What else? Anchorman 2.
Has Walter Mitty come out yet?
No, that comes
No.
out on Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
That and
I-
The Wolf
I-
of Wall Street comes out on Christmas, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Two
cannot wait to
movies.
see
I
that.
Both
mean-
of those I want to
Yeah.
see.
These movies that are coming out within like this 3 weeks from like
Mhm.
a week ago to the next 2 weeks, it's gonna be some really good movies.
I mean, there were a
Oscar
couple
season.
big movies that came out last year around this time. Django came out.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
What else?
you know,
What else came out?
Cloud Atlas. I
Cloud
mean,
Atlas, yeah, but I didn't even watch that until a couple months ago.
It
Yeah, I was about
was
to say we did watch that.
Not a very important movie when it came to
Mm,
awards and.
no, I mean it was just one of those like I think it was
I enjoyed
fucking
it.
beautiful to watch.
I enjoyed it too, and it's just one of those movies you either like it or you hate it.
Yeah,
It's just-
but it's
Yeah,
also
definitely.
such a commitment because you have to sit there for like 3 hours.
It
It-
didn't feel like 3 hours,
See,
honestly.
I think what makes it less of a commitment is so many stories. You're just like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah,
what's going on
it
here?
gives
So
you
it's just
a
like,
decent amount of stuff to pay attention to.
Mhm. And it's the same
It's always
actors in
good.
each different story
yeah.
too.
I thought it was an interesting movie. How I knew it was a good movie is because afterwards, whoever I went and saw it with, we were all talking about it and like
Yeah,
trying to
we talked
see
about it forever.
what message it sent to each of us and stuff like that. Like, what was the key message to the movie? And we all had different things to say. So
That's how I judge a good TV show. So like every single time we'll watch The Walking Dead together, and we'll talk about it for a good 30 minutes after it's already
Well,
done.
see, that's also because we've all read the comic books.
Yeah.
Or are reading the
are
comic books.
currently reading as
So,
Well, that and like look at Breaking Bad.
yeah.
That's like one of the most talked about shows. That's why it got popular because people wanted to talk
that you
about it.
never watched.
Yeah, I watched the last 2 episodes. It's fine.
I skimmed through the entire series and watched
I watched the
last
first 2
episodes.
seasons
Out
and
of
the last 2
everybody
episodes.
here, like as big of a movie buff and TV person you are, like I don't know how you never watched, like sat down and just like watched the show. Because you told me right off the bat you like watched a few episodes and didn't get hooked. I was like, I was hooked after like 10 minutes of the first episode.
I don't know.
Well,
It's
to take Matt's side for a second, I watched the complete first season and half of the second season, and I wasn't really hooked. It was after the second season to where I was like, "This is the greatest
First
show of my
episode
life."
got me, and I was just like, I got into it like I was. I don't think I waited because like season 3 is what drew everybody in because that's when it popped up on Netflix.
Yeah.
But I started watching like maybe halfway through 2, and so I went back and I downloaded all the original stuff, and then I finally watched episode 1, and I just marathoned caught up to live TV after that. Like it immediately hooked me. I mean, everybody has their own.
I've been watching a lot of Family Guy lately because they just put season 11 on Netflix,
Mm.
and they've already made like 3 Breaking Bad jokes, and it was like, he was watching Breaking Bad, and all it was saying was, Breaking Bad is the greatest show ever made. You will recommend Breaking Bad to everyone. I was like, that's so true. I'm always like,
It's one
wait,
of
have
those
you
things
seen
where,
Breaking Bad?
yeah, everybody you hear talking about it, it's like, oh, it talks about it's the greatest show ever, but when everybody you talk about it to tells you it's the greatest show ever, I mean,
Yeah.
it gotta mean something. Like,
Yeah.
It's obvious that show's a great show.
I've accepted the fact that I've missed it.
it is number 1 on IMDb.
Really?
I didn't know that.
I think it went up. It hit number 1 after the Osmond Diaz episode, which is like the third to last one.
How many Grammys did it win?
Who won it? I think it was like, didn't Anna Gunn win for this last go around because they had to base it off of just season
The last
5.1
season?
or like
Yeah.
5? Yeah.
The Walt's wife.
Yeah, Anna. Yeah,
Yeah,
Anna
yeah.
Gunn. Yeah, she got it for that
she
because
won.
she's a very prominent character in the first half of that season.
Yeah, she is. She is.
And that's where she goes through a lot of her like struggles and yeah. So
Yeah. Breaking Bad's great.
yeah, but if Aaron Paul doesn't take, I mean, Bryan Cranston's won it multiple times already. I'm sure.
Didn't Aaron Paul win?
Aaron Paul's won it as well, but if Aaron Paul doesn't win it for this next, because like
The season
5B will be for next year's awards, and if he doesn't get it, I don't know, because his acting in that last half.
Who won it last time? The guy from that one like political show, like one Best Actor.
Oh,
in
Newsroom? Was it Newsroom?
No, it's House of Cards.
Was it? No, it was.
No,
it was that.
House of Cards. That's
I don't
a
know what the
Netflix
show's
show.
called. I don't watch it. I just knew, I just knew someone told me that what's his name? Walter. What's his actor?
Brian.
Bryan Cranston.
Cranston. He didn't win because someone else.
Yeah.
I forgot
what
who the
show
guy
it
was.
that won? Oh, and Homeland, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was
Maybe it
Homeland.
was.
Yeah, because that was one of
Because
the big
Homeland
things.
kind of came out of nowhere
Yeah.
and just took over.
And that was one of those ones like I was like, because everybody was like it beat Breaking Bad in like every category that they were both nominated in, and then so like I was like I've got to check this show out, and I mean it's a really good show, but I still don't understand how it did better than Breaking Bad.
Who's
But,
even in that though? Homeland.
the only big person that was in it is I don't even remember her name. It's the main girl in it.
So she was really
But she
important.
hadn't done
Okay.
any. But she hadn't done anything
Okay.
big for like 5 or 6 years. She's been like out of work basically for like that long, and then she finally got this gig, and she
She killed it.
if you've seen the show, her acting is phenomenal. Like because she goes through this like she's bipolar, and after something that happens in the show, like she has like it gets brought out again basically, and so she goes kind of crazy for a little bit, and there's just like this one scene where she's like yelling as they're like basically firing her from her job, and she's just like yelling, and there's the expression on her face, and like it was almost like hard to watch, like how the emotion she was showing. Yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
Anything else for 2013?
I mean, we got a lot of stuff.
I have something I want to talk about.
Yeah, what?
BioShock Infinite.
Yes, that was an amazing
Anyone,
game.
did you play that, Hunter?
I never got to play it. I was so stoked for it to come out. And
I was the same way.
I've
Well,
never.
it's in the house.
I know. You just haven't been like, play this. You haven't placed it in my hands and been like,
See,
here.
he did that to me, and
And-
I got one good like 4-hour sit down session with it, and then I never picked it back up again.
Oh man,
There was something that like kept me playing for that long, but then after I like gave up for like I think I went back to work for a few days, and then just didn't put it back in for some reason.
Dude, to me, the gameplay on that game was so fun.
yeah,
Like, just the fucking roller coasters.
yeah, like you just
Swing,
the skyhook
yeah,
and like
skyhook.
being able to jump off of the skyhook and like land on somebody and like have them fly off of like the floating island and stuff.
Just like, the cutscenes were tight. Like, the graphics were fucking beautiful. And then at the end, it got so trippy. And, like, just really made you, like, I had to, like, go
one
on
of the
some
best
forum and,
video
like,
game stories. Besides, like, I think the only one that I can think of that could beat it is The Last of Us.
I was about to say, you
Or
might
The
be
Walking
forgetting,
Dead.
You might be forgetting about
The Last of
like,
Us was this year too.
Yeah, first, I was about to say,
Last of Us.
we need to have a Last of Us segment right now because I
I honestly know more
I
about
didn't-
that game because I think I watched it get played fully through between like watching
Everyone
everyone
played
play
it?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say I've only played like the first 20% of that game,
Which
but
already you were already hooked, and by the first like I guess chapter of it, or like the prelude to it, I guess it was just like
That was.
I'm
I would've
already
cried.
about I'm already about
I had to walk
into
out of the room
this.
after like that open like that. Yeah, the prelude. I guess the setup for when it goes into the current time of the game, which
Yeah.
is
Way
what
after.
is it? 20 years it jumps or something.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen so many of you guys play it, so I know the story.
Yeah. Where it's like we sat down and it went from for a while we would just like I would go over to y'all's house and somebody would just be playing Skyrim, which is the most boring game to ever
False.
watch ever.
Oh, to watch.
To watch somebody else play,
The
it is
play.
so fucking boring.
It's frustrating because it's just like you should go do this, and they're like, no, I'm gonna do this, and you're like, but I want you to do that. I
Yeah.
want you to go over there and look down there and look at that and fight this guy this way, the way I would fight them. But I'm not playing, so I have to watch you do your stupid way.
Like,
of
now I
doing
get to watch
things.
you try to climb this mountain for 20 minutes. Which
Yeah,
is-
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, you can walk around the mountain. No, fuck that. I'm gonna go walk straight up.
That's why if you have Shadow Mirror, you just go over everything like it's no big deal.
But back to the
Yeah.
last. Of Us.
Yeah, but that's Last of Us. You can just sit there, watch it like it's a movie.
Playing it. I remember playing the last scene and like there's just so many scenes that I was just blown away and just like I can't believe this is happening, and then just finally in the very end, like the main character Joel, he makes a choice.
Spoiler alert? Do we have to give a spoiler?
No, I don't want to
Okay.
say anything for anybody who hasn't played
been
it or
2
seen it.
Yeah, it's been a couple
but
weeks.
I mean, still, it's
It's been way more
you
than 2
should
weeks.
pick it up. But it's that end. You make a choice, and you're either for the choice he makes or you're against it. And either way, you're just like the entire game that you just spent playing and developing all these feelings for. You don't know what to think about it in the end, and you're just like, I don't know. And I literally remember I have to fucking like leave my apartment and fucking I had finished it by myself. So I was alone in the dark, like the only one there, and I was just like, I need to fucking like get out of here, and like this was
Think about
way
your
too
life.
intense.
Yeah.
This was way too intense. Everything that just happened.
That's how it was when I finished The Walking Dead. I was by myself, and I was just like, I need to go on a walk or something. Like I was just so sad. Like, and then the second season just started, and and I know you guys haven't played it yet, but the first 30 minutes of the gameplay is just straight up depression. It's just the saddest shit you've ever seen, and you just have to sit there and bear with it.
Yeah, I finally just finished episode 1 yesterday because I went on there and I've had episode 1 downloaded forever because it's been free for a while and I just never got around to playing it. And because I was like, the last thing I want to do is start playing episode 1 and then all of a sudden, like, I'm gonna end up spending $20 trying to get the other episodes.
Yeah.
But Xbox for their gold members right now, they have the sale $1.69 for episodes 2 through 5. So I was like,
Wow.
I just went ahead and was like,
Totally worth it.
buy, and then so I beat episode 1 yesterday, right before we left, and I was
There's so many sales going on right now, though. Xbox has a sale, PlayStation has a sale.
It's about time
And-
they started.
No. It's not just like the systems. It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Literally
Yeah.
everywhere
holidays.
you
I mean,
go.
Amazon is
like
like
crazy.
sales like crazy going right now.
Like
Apple
Steam
TV
has
for
one of their
$85.
famous sales right now, and like speaking of Steam, I tried to download Steam OS onto the computer, and I could not get it to work at all.
It's just the beta that's out right now,
Yeah.
technically. So, like, when the official version comes out, because they had to release it because they gave out those 100 Steam boxes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the beta boxes.
And the beta boxes, and so they figured one of those people is just going to image their drive and leak it anyway. So we might as well just go ahead and give the software out for people to make their own boxes. But the thing is, you have to know a little about Linux because
it's Linux based. So
Yeah.
and someone who's never used Linux before, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
When I first made a HTPC, which is a home theater PC, I had a version of Linux that was XBMC based, the Xbox Media Center.
Yeah.
And so like that, I had to learn like a little bit of Linux to do that. But if you know anything about like if you ever had to like use command prompt in Windows, or like if you had a computer like I did before Windows was even big and like or affordable, and like my first computer ran just DOS. So it's like you had to know the typing just to get everything to work. Yeah. And so, but yeah, I learned a lot from doing all that. So I mean, I'm sure if I sat down and tried to look at it, I could probably figure it out. But,
I haven't taken the time.
But I think that is so awesome that Steam is finally, like, because it's honestly, it's bringing a fourth console into the living room that for, like, how long has it been since there's always just been the big three.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like even before Xbox, there was just still like it was Sega before that.
Yeah.
So there was always just been three options.
True.
Well, no, not really. I mean, like you look back before. I mean, I feel like it kind of started with Super Nintendo, and then you had Nintendo, and then Super Nintendo, and it was PlayStation 1, right?
Yeah.
You also had Dreamcast.
No, PlayStation. It's like
it was PlayStation 1. Nintendo
64
and Dreamcast were the three at that time. They were that era.
And I think Dreamcast was the least
Dreamcast.
of the one.
Dreamcast came out like around PS2 time though, right?
Dreamcast was the first console.
No,
Dreamcast was the first one besides the Sega CD to use a disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it came out before the PS1.
The 64. 64 was first.
Yeah.
And then it was Dreamcast, and then it was PS1, because the PS1 stayed around the longest.
Wait, what about just a normal PlayStation?
The PS1.
That's
yeah.
No, because they had the PS1 was the smaller version.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. That's what we're calling it. PS1.
Okay.
But I know what you're talking about.
But it was the same. It was the same console.
Sony also did start that shit with the hey, let's put out a console, and then 2 years later we're gonna put out the smaller version. It's like, why did you just do that initially?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, because the PS3 went through
so many
3 renovations,
3 major ones.
Yeah,
So did Xbox.
but there were so many different
Xbox
versions.
went through only 2.
Well, I mean,
Xbox-
if you count like the Elite, and
I mean, that's just color change and a bigger hard drive.
but that was supposed to change.
It was a
Form
name
factor.
change. It was the first.
Yeah.
It went Xbox.
Well,
Xbox
they
Elite,
also have
Xbox
the E.
Slim.
Well, if you want to get technical, it was the Xbox 360, and then they changed it because the first ones didn't have HDMI ports. Remember?
Yeah.
And so they turned them to Pro. Yours doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they went Pro, and then they turned it to Arcade, which was the one without the hard drive.
Yeah.
But it was basically you could just put a hard drive on it, and it was the same thing. And then they went to the Slim line.
PlayStation actually has the 4 major.
But they also have you're forgetting about the one that they released when they announced the Xbox One. When they announced the Xbox One, they released one that matches the Xbox One.
They did.
It's called the 360E.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
it looks exactly like the Xbox One.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of.
So
Why
wait,
would you-
what is it for?
Just if
what
you
is
have
it-
the 360, because the Xbox One isn't backwards compatible.
So you can lie
And
to
so
your
it
friends.
Like, what's the point of that?
Guys, I have an Xbox One that's backwards compatible. Watch.
Let's just play the 360 games though.
Yeah.
There's no good games.
There's no good games for the one yet. That's why I don't have any.
Oh,
Why am I playing with 360 controllers? Oh, don't worry about that.
Those are backwards compatible too. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Don't ask questions.
I'm assuming that it's just like if you have a one, it's to match the one. If you just have that much,
But
amount, that amount
I
of
don't
money.
want.
That's dumb.
That's so
Yeah,
dumb.
it's stupid.
Like, why would you want them to be the exact same? Like, just so the tower looks nice, I guess. I don't know, but like.
Well, I think it's a little different, but I mean, it's essentially the same design. You know.
Okay, and then also we did the same shit where they did. Okay, they had the Wii, and then they brought out another version, but they did it pretty sly. Whereas they took off the GameCube ports.
Yeah, so you can't
have
put
GameCube controllers anymore.
Yeah, they sold that for about a year.
I don't remember.
And then
that.
they released the Wii Mini, which is like it's basically like an external hard drive that you plug into the wall. That's exactly what it looks like.
It literally just slips in all it does is the Wii discs and like nothing more. Like it doesn't even have backwards compatibility.
I had no idea that Wii even was coming out with new shit like that.
Yeah,
exactly,
that came out
because they
like
do it-
after the Wii U.
They do it like unannounced, and because like I had my friend Jeff, he had bought a Wii like it's maybe a year and a half ago or so.
Yeah.
And he bought it and brought over Super Smash Brothers, and because no one likes to play Super Smash Brothers with the fucking Wiimote,
Wiimote,
right?
no.
Except for this guy.
Yeah,
That's only because he had to.
I had
learn
to
how.
because nobody else liked it, so I just learned how to play it.
Yeah, understandable.
But so like yeah, we're going, we're hooking it up and everything at the house. He unboxed it like in my old apartment and stuff, and then hook it up, and we're trying to flip open the flap to hook up the GameCube thing. He's like, dude, this thing is stuck, and I'm like, we can see. Flipping it open, I'm like, there's not even hinges. Like I was like, there's no GameCube ports on this.
Yeah, there's just
Yeah,
none.
you couldn't use the GameCube controller. He immediately took it back.
Good.
Good choice there.
What I was gonna say before is the PlayStation actually had 4 major like console design changes.
The PS3,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the PS3.
because they had the fat, and then they
the
went.
first one with like the metal pieces on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Which was backwards compatible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then this
And-
is the second iteration. that
No,
we
no, no.
have
The
here.
second one was the one they came out. They took away all the metal pieces, and it like they made it cheaper,
And it
it
wasn't-
Oh, it was
backwards
plasticky,
compatible.
but it was still like the fat
yeah,
rounded
and it-
top
yeah.
one.
And then
Okay.
they have this one, and then they have the new
Now
one
they
that
have
comes
the,
out.
the newer slim.
Yeah, I was about to say they also have
The one that
slims.
pops up, like the CD disc, like
Yeah.
old
That's
school
right. Yeah,
style,
yeah,
like,
like
pops
PS1
up.
style. Where
Yeah.
you have the flip
That's
top.
just weird.
Even
Yeah.
PlayStation had that.
I had the PS. I had
Yeah.
the slim PS2. Where okay, you had the original PS2 only did 2 models that I'm aware of. They
Right.
did the regular one with the slide out tray
Mhm.
that
Yeah, and then
everybody
they had
knows
one that-
with the hard drive you could dock the hard drive and stuff into, which I think was what Final Fantasy was like the only game that needed it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, and then you had the slim one with the flip top, but that thing was so tiny.
I know.
It was ridiculous.
I remember that.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
what I
that
had.
thing was cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it was
I
nice.
love that,
I never
yeah.
had a PS2.
Oh,
That was-
what?
Nope, never had it.
They
I've
just
always
made
been slow on consoles.
This year they just stopped making PS2 games.
Yeah, I know. You know,
That's
I'm pretty sure
crazy.
that's the most.
FIFA 14 last game you could get on the PS2.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
It was pretty.
FIFA
It just came
14.
out like a couple months ago, and they announced Sony announced this is the last game for the PS2. I was like,
They should
They
have
still
stopped
made-
a long time
Apparently,
ago.
FIFA
But people
14
were
is
still
on the
buying
most
them.
consoles at once at this more than any other game. So it's like on 3DS, DS, like not Game Boy.
it's
I'd
on
be
the
bullshitting
PSP,
you.
it's on the Vita.
PSP, Vita, PS2, PS3, PS4, 360, Xbox One.
I'm surprised they didn't just
Wow.
go ahead and make it for like the PS1, the Xbox original.
Just to fuck with people.
We'll just bring it back all around.
Call Guinness Book of World
Guys, you can
Records,
get it on your
motherfuckers.
Dreamcast. Nintendo 64, FIFA 14. Here
Yeah,
we
that would
go.
be, I would buy that just to have it. Just yeah, motherfuckers. You thought they stopped making these games? Look at this cartridge.
Yes.
We went to a store today that sold like almost exclusively like older.
Yeah, Conker's Bad
games.
Fur Day, $100.
Oh,
I was
For
like,
the N64.
No, it makes sense because that game is impossible to find.
yeah,
dude.
I was looking for I passed up the opportunity one time at we have this local store called Entertain Mart, and it's basically like they use games and movies, but like inside of a like
Basically,
Ba-
it
it's
was
like
an
a
old
mini-
Haverty's.
yeah, so like an old furniture store,
Yeah.
and so the place is pretty big, and they had a copy of the Xbox version of it, which is Live and Reloaded, and I decided not to buy it one day, and I went back for it like a week later, and it was gone, and I've never seen it since. And then
Is it not on Xbox Live?
no, it's one of those ones they still haven't put up on the store yet. And so then we saw that copy of the original one for the Nintendo 64, Bad Fur Day, and I was like, fuck yeah, I grabbed it. $100. I was like, whoo!
No. That's going right back on.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that was one.
I
Of,
want to play it, but not that bad.
that was one of my favorite games on Nintendo 64. Obviously, other than Zelda and stuff.
I don't
like
know,
that.
dude. Looking back
Dude,
Bad
Fur Day,
today,
nothing was better than
there
that,
was-
in my opinion, on
there
64.
was there was Rogue Squadron. There was
Yeah, Rogue
Star Wars
Squadron.
Rogue Squadron.
Dude, yeah, we were-
Pod racing.
I mean,
Pod
okay,
racing.
I mean, those are
GoldenEye.
cool games.
GoldenEye,
GoldenEye's
Dude,
Star
I-
Fox 64.
GoldenEye
GoldenEye
is one of those
sucks,
ones-
though.
Do not play GoldenEye now,
Ever.
because
Don't.
you will ruin your memories of how good it was in the past.
It's so bad
You know-
because you are now used to the twin stick shooters,
Right.
and that was not a twin stick shooter. You have one joystick.
I don't even know how that's gonna work out. Like,
It's
do they
so
work?
weird,
Yeah.
dude.
It doesn't. It doesn't
Because
work.
they put out like they did the HD remix that came out like in the Wii,
Uh-huh.
and it was like the exact port of the one from the 64. Because then they did the remake again on like the 360 and stuff, where they actually put it as a twin stick shooter, but it was still kind of meh.
Yeah.
But the exact remake for the Wii was just like you couldn't look up or down, like you could, but it was like so it always went back to center afterwards. Like so, if you looked up, it looked immediately back down to the center of the screen.
God.
Then you have to hold a button to be able to look at that.
Yeah.
It was
Because I
just-
remember
think it
I
was
sucked
buttons or
at
something.
it,
Yeah.
and I would like go up into a corner and I could like press a button and just wait for the people to like go in one certain spot in the hallway and I could shoot them.
There was that one
I was
level
that
where
guy.
you could hide it. There was like a
Early
the
camping.
grate.
It's a legitimate strategy.
There was like looked like a AC vent kind of, and you could stand on the other side of it though, and it was like a hallway, and you could shoot through it, but people couldn't since you're on the inside of it, you could see through the slates, but they couldn't see through the other way because of the angle,
Yeah.
and so you could see as they walk by, and you could shoot them, and they could shoot you back through it, but no one could ever see you, and then. By the time that even if you missed them as they walked by, there was the one way that walk all the way around to you, so you knew they were coming. So you just had to wait, have it lined up for the corner, and as they came around, pop.
Yeah, dude, it's been a
The
long
game-
time since I played that
The game was
Yeah.
like
Yeah, don't play it.
the game was so broken, but we just didn't realize it because we were so young.
Yeah.
when
Well,
it
we
came
didn't
out.
have anything
To compare it
to
with.
Yeah, there
compare it
was
to on
nothing-
console. I mean, the first big shooter
James Bond.
was,
That was it?
yeah. I mean, that was
GoldenEye,
it.
GoldenEye and Perfect Dark were like, but they were like the same time. Like
Yeah.
They came
What
out
about
around-
Doom?
Okay.
Doom wasn't on console though.
It was 64.
I mean,
Doom-
it
there was
came
a
out
port.
later. I mean, came out. How could you play? Okay, but Doom is different because there's no vertical axis, right? It's just horizontal.
No. It's a 3D.
No, Doom was the original two, like Doom 1 and 2. Both were you didn't look up or down.
Yeah.
There's a
I'm
flat
talking about
thing.
No,
Doom
even-
64.
Okay, Doom 64. I think
64.
they added the
Yeah, I
plane
never
like to where
played
you could
that.
look up around, but there was kind of no. You could just keep your cursor straight.
Yeah.
And it would
because-
still, it would
yeah.
move and
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the way those games were built. Like there was the enemies were all like their head was just right there,
Yeah.
lined up with their
It was
cursor at all
perfect,
times. Like or headshots didn't really matter either. It
Yeah.
was just,
And I mean, I guess like PS2 kind of fixed that, and like they started putting out stuff. But like, I mean, like I remember playing like Medal of Honor on PS2. I mean, even early first Call of Duty was on PlayStation and Xbox. But then
no.
Xbox launched with Halo.
Original Call of Duty was PC only.
Really?
Call of Duty 2 was on the 360's launch.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
well, there was Call of Duty Big Red 1
Which
on the
was on
Xbox,
Xbox.
but it was right towards the end of its life, right
Yeah.
before the 360. But the original Call of Duty game was a PC only.
Yeah.
And then they made I think when one of the more recent ones came out, they finally put it to the arcade, so you can own all of the Call of Duties on the 360.
Oh,
Basically.
okay.
Did y'all know Zelda or Ocarina of Time was the first 360 lock game? Like, it was like a new technology tool where you could lock on a target. Like,
Oh, up in the
360.
sky.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
yeah, it was the first game ever made.
I guess I
like
never
that.
realized
Yeah.
that.
I mean, if
Do y'all
you think
remember-
about it, it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Do y'all
remember
remember the
anything
game
before that.
Quest 64?
Of course, I remember that.
I love
I
that
saw
game.
that today.
I could never get
At the
I
store.
can
past
see it there.
a certain point of that game.
That
Like,
game was hard.
That's how most of those old games are, though. You get stuck so easily.
I
There's
feel like
not
they had
games
something
like
to
that
prove,
Yeah,
and so
I
they
know.
just made a certain we're gonna make no, this game's easy. I got this, and then all of a sudden there's this one part whoa,
Yeah.
brick wall,
It was a very simple yet hard game. It was
Well, I mean, that's how a lot of games were. I mean, like, who the fuck has ever beaten Pac-Man? You can't
Can
beat
you
Pac.
beat
Yeah,
Pac-Man?
you can beat Pac-Man. It's like the 366th level if you beat it all. But
Wow.
it continuously the ghosts will get faster and shit.
Isn't there a point cap though?
Yeah, there's a point cap where it's like
the game glitches if you hit so many points.
yeah, and it'll just fucking shut
because
down.
they how they only have a screen space for so many digits. So once you hit this certain number, it's too many nines when it's about to tick over to the next point, the game just doesn't know what to do and just crashes.
Yeah,
Wow.
I remember. I used to know the
That's-
number, but it's not even like a 9 number. It's something
Yeah,
weird.
it actually is really weird.
It's
I
it
guess they
has something to do with the actual processor that they're using or something. It cannot just figure out that number.
Donkey Kong's the same way, the original one. Like, there's
Wow.
the kill screen, which is you hit the kill screen when you beat the game, but technically the game's not supposed to end. But it's one of those things they like, no one's ever gonna get this far, so we'll just put it like at this really high number. But then people fucking like, if there's a will, like there's a way.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
people will do it. And now it's not even like just like, well, have you ever seen that King of Kong documentary, which is a phenomenal documentary about like the people that are professional players.
Yeah.
But they, I mean, most of those guys, like, they've all hit the kill screen multiple times in their life, if not, like, almost every time they play the game at this point. Oh, fun fact, did you know Eminem is one of the top Donkey Kong players in the world?
What?
I had no idea.
I had
Really?
What?
Eminem is one of the top Donkey Kong players
That
in
is
the
so
world.
random.
Yep.
Why?
I mean, we all got something. I guess he's got rapping and video
He's one of the
games.
top rappers and Donkey Kong players in the world.
So if rapping doesn't like,
Yeah, if rapping one day just doesn't work out for him anymore, which he's beyond the point of it not working out.
Yeah.
Even though his career is slowly plummeting, like each album is just
but
kind of.
even if he put out the shittiest album in the world, it would sell 100,000 copies.
Oh, I mean, like,
Let's say it would make
Relapse
way more
and all
money
those.
than we'd be making.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Marshall Mathers LP2 wasn't his best work by far. Like, he's never going to top Marshall Mathers LP, but the number two, like, calling it the number two to compare, like, to link back to that album was a ballsy move alone. And
Yeah.
you can clearly, like, listen to those two albums, like, he's just a different person. Like,
Yeah.
hating Kim is no longer the biggest thing in his life
That's
at the moment.
the most fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucked up song.
Yeah.
That song is so intense. Like, just
Whenever we were listening to that, it was just
the emotion in
it
that
was
song.
It's
too
almost
real.
like I'm getting involved in family drama that I'm like
You-
not a part of.
You
like,
feel
Exactly.
You feel
It's like,
uncomfortable listening to it. But the one thing I wanted to do is like I wanted to be Dr. Dre in the booth there with him while he was recording that and just be like,
Wow.
okay, yeah. If you want to do another take, that's cool. But
I think we got it.
But it must have, like, for him to be there, it must have been, like, whenever you're at whenever you're a kid and your friend's house, like, at your friend's house, and your friend gets in trouble in front of you, and you're just like,
Should I
times 10.
should I leave or should I hang out and give you backup? I don't know what I should
You
do.
just sit in the
here.
corner and don't talk. You just
Yeah.
witness. Witness the family violence.
Yep.
Did y'all ever play the game Glover?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like,
No way, dude. That game, my distinct image of that game is just be a little glove. You jump on a beach ball and you're just like,
running, dude.
you fall off of everything, no matter what, because the controls were
It's
just
so hard.
god awful. It was just, you go 2 feet and next thing you know, you're off the edge.
And you can lose the ball too.
Yeah.
And that always sucks because it's just like now you're just a fucking walking glove. Like,
You're the I always thought of the hamburger helper guy.
Yeah.
I feel like that game was hamburger helper. Like they had some backing in that.
they had to have.
Like they may not thrown their logo on it anywhere, but somewhere down the line they're like, all right, we want to make a game, but you can't really make a hamburger helper game, so take our logo.
Let's call it
The
Glover.
glove. Yeah, Glover. He's
We'll
gonna ride a
represent
ball.
each other.
Yeah,
That's one of those games where I never beat it. I just played
There-
the first level and
No,
That's
you
one-
shouldn't have beat
that was one
game.
of the. There was a time period where, like, especially the N64 days and stuff like that, even like SNES and NES, like, were just games like that. There was games that just had no premise. There was no plot.
Right.
You're just this. Hey, we're gonna
Glove.
put this glove on a ball, and then he's gonna be on these platforms, and
See, and
he
that's-
may collect like coins or noodles and ground beef. Like,
Ground beef.
Speaking
See-
of noodles, there's this one like Asian game.
Oh no.
That's so hard to describe. It was this guy with like blue hair. For the life of me, I can't remember what it was called. But it was a huge part of my Nintendo 64 playing games. It was so fun.
Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg?
Toe Jam and Earl.
No, just
Earthworm Jim.
Move on.
We were just talking about that the other
Yeah,
day.
move on because I don't know what it is, but it was fun. If anyone knows what that game was, it was
There's
fun.
like looking back, have you ever like just tried to play games that you played like
Yes.
in the past? My
Don't
biggest
do
thing
it.
is
Don't do
that
it.
their controls are the shittiest controls in the world, and that will ruin a game for me.
Yeah.
Because I just downloaded Contrast because I was like, oh, it kind of looks like like a Portal-ish type puzzle game where you get to like go in between dimensions. If you don't know what it is, you should look it up or play it.
It's a great idea.
Or it's a great idea,
Executed poorly.
I couldn't. Yeah, executed poorly. Exactly. Like the problem is the controls are so clunky. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So it'll just like sing like, and all of a sudden I've had to restart that game 4 times.
No.
And that game is. I've only played for like 2 hours. I've had to restart the game 4 times because I've been stuck in a fucking wall or like stuck like I fell underneath the map. And, like, I was just trying to do the fucking puzzle. Like, how did you not playtest this?
Do you know what game has held up over the years? And once I say it, it will be no surprise that I think this. Zelda. Ocarina of Time. Majora's Mask. If anyone replays those games, they were so well done that they play smoothly. It's still fun. I swear to God, I've replayed those games.
Countless.
Have you?
My whole life, like the last time I played Majora's Mask was when I lived with you at your parents' house, and me and Pee Wee got every single mask without the guy.
You guys were literally just going through it.
It's still fun, and it's still. I mean, that's why they released fucking Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. The same game, basically. No, because I don't have a 3DS.
It's fucking amazing.
It's the same game. It's held up for so long. It's just they made the graphics better, and it's
the graphics
still fun.
are better, and like.
When they did that to Mario 64 for the DS, I was like, that game to this day is still just.
That's another one. It held up.
Yeah.
It's those.
That game was.
Those great. 2 games.
Star Fox 64 3D.
That game is still fun.
Yep. Still fun.
Star Fox 64. That was a challenge.
It was.
That was
the challenge? You took
it.
the easy route if you wanted to. The challenge was going the different route.
You took the easy route your very first time.
Yeah.
Because you were just
Did you
like,
ever?
Yeah,
okay.
let's go
Did
this
you ever
way.
hear that? When I was a kid, I'm fucking stupid. But when I was a kid,
Yes.
they played. I was at my friend's house and he was playing it and he goes, "Okay, I'm beating it for the second time." And I was like, "Okay," and he goes, "No, that's like the first time you don't actually beat it." And like, but I was like, I never fucking understood that as a kid. And he goes, "First time you don't actually beat it. The second time you get the real ending."
Yeah.
Like you get a real ending. And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Still.
So does that beating it the first time isn't really beating it? Then?
Exactly. Apparently you have to play it twice for
I feel like that's
you to
kind of
actually
cheap
beat
though.
it.
I would be so pissed if I went through
I don't think you have to play it twice. I just think you have to take the right route.
Yeah, you have to choose a different route.
See, but nobody fucking explained that to me as a child.
That's the same thing as nowadays when you get say, okay, you start a game and hard mode is locked initially. You play it on normal, but then hard mode gives you a different ending or a different cutscene or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the same concept. Like the game is beat the first time around, but the second time here's a reward for doing it on the harder difficulty.
Yeah.
So.
Well, listen, I played Star Fox 64 not too long ago. It's when I lived with Elias and we had a Nintendo 64, and we were just like, "Yo, let's play some games." So we put in Star Fox.
Have an N64.
Oh, there we go. Well, we put in Star Fox, and we actually had to look up online how to take
and you couldn't do that as a kid.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that, especially when Nintendo 64.
It's one of those phenomenons, dude. How did everybody know to fix it? You blow in the cartridge, even
Exactly.
though on the back of it tells you not to do that. But there was no internet then to for everybody to look up on how to fix this. But that's something everybody and their mother
And
knew.
another thing is how did everybody know how to do the rare candy glitch on Cinnabar Island in Pokemon?
It was game so there's the internet was around by Pokemon.
Pokemon came out in 96.
I was still too young to be
98, but still I wasn't. I was 98. I was in fucking first grade.
I was 8.
Yeah.
You had to use dial-up
Dial-up.
and basically be like, "Mom, I'm gonna get on the internet," and she'd be like, "You have 10 minutes."
Because it blocked.
But
you
the
couldn't take
page
any
isn't
phone
gonna
calls
load,
at
Mom.
time.
The page isn't gonna load.
You get the page to
I
load,
remember Cheat Planet.
you gotta
Cheat
get off.
CC.
I gotta make my call.
Yeah,
She
Cheat
couldn't
Planet.
say
That
no.
was a little more.
Those
I
were
used
the
those
websites
more
I-
PS2 times.
See, but I would go on and then you print that shit off because you couldn't just leave
Always.
it open anymore. I used to have binders just of all the games I owned, all the cheat codes and strategies for those, just printed out myself because that's what you gotta do because you
That's
couldn't
what
just leave the
everyone
webpage open or you
Yeah.
you could.
I would write
offline
it
mode
down,
and
put it in
stuff,
my
but-
game case.
Yeah.
Half the time you'd be like, what the
And I
fuck did I
remember,
write? I don't understand.
So many people
What
had
are all these
convinced me
buttons?
that Sonic and Tails were in Super Smash Bros. Melee that I was like, okay, and I found an actual code for it, and I was like, hell yeah. And so I tried that code 500,000 times, I'm pretty sure. Like,
just hoping that one time it would
A,
work.
B, A, B, X, Y.
Nope, didn't
No, you
work.
should have just said up, down, left, right, B, A, star.
Yeah.
Clearly would have worked. I mean,
yeah.
that was the Sonic code. I mean,
That was the Konami code, right?
Up, down, left, right,
Yeah.
B, A,
star.
star.
Something. Yeah.
I mean, that was.
That was in Bioshock Infinite. You can unlock shit for,
That's
on
in
the
a
home
lot of
screen.
games. believe it
Oh,
or not,
yeah.
Like as a.
But I mean, I'm pretty
Throwback
sure it
or
started off.
That's on websites too.
That's
Like
weird.
you can do that. Like I found a website where you did that, and it would take you to a secret page. Just like thanks for
How do you do
doing
that on
it.
your computer?
huh?
Just
I don't
No,
know.
there's
The
no-
arrow keys and the
A,
BA.
B,
There's no
enter.
select start.
Huh? Just enter, I think.
What's select?
Going back to that rare candy thing you were talking about. When I was that young, the internet was not like
Yeah, like,
at
I
my
didn't have
fingertips.
it.
Yeah.
How I figured out about it was just word of mouth from either the kids at school or that
It was
that
always the older
specific
kids.
cheat, that specific rare candy cheat. My cousin he knew about it and was just like, "Hey, have you seen the rare candy cheat?"
Yeah.
And I
Well, you
was
probably had you probably had one friend that was like the me that actually did have access to the internet.
right.
Yeah.
Found it, and then started telling other people about it. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
because
See, I had it at a young age. I was just like, I wasn't. It's not something that you could just do every day, you know. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I spend fucking so much time on the internet now.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
where I get most of my entertainment.
Yeah, but see, the crazy thing is, no one uses cheats nowadays,
No.
really.
Because it's all DLC.
Yeah.
Except Grand Theft Auto.
Because I remember the
Yeah.
days of
Yeah.
dial-up. I remember sneaking into the computer room at night, like just to let it load up like Kazaa and like dial up in there like during like the after hours. You know, like when my parents were asleep. Just so I could like have the phone lines basically blocked all night, just to download one song, you know. And now it's like I download an album in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. and
It's just
I remember
as
as a kid-
baffling how.
And we'll see, you can
times
do that from your
change.
phone now.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
be like,
exactly.
oh yeah, I'm not even at my house. I'm like 200 miles away, and next thing
it's
I know,
4 a.m. I'm 200 miles away.
I have an album downloaded on my phone right now.
Yeah.
And I can tell my computer to download it while I'm at it, so yeah.
Did anyone ever play Neopets?
Yeah, I was just about to fucking talk about
My
that.
sister played that.
Don't you should
and
never
Club
log
Penguin.
back in.
Yeah, your Neopets are dead.
No, the thing is, they don't die. They've just been starving, starving and not taken care of for years.
My sister was obsessed with the Neopets and the Club Penguin.
But I've seen
I feel
some
like we
hilarious
were all.
shit
I
on
feel like
that
Club
on-
Penguin.
Yeah, I
was
think
a
we were
little
too old
past
for
us.
that.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
first time I'd ever heard of Neopets, I was at my friend's house, and he pulls it up on his computer, and he goes, "Okay, let's go outside and play." I was like, "I thought you were gonna show me something." He goes, "Yeah, we gotta wait for it to load."
Yeah, those were the dial-up days.
And so like we actually went outside, played for like 20 minutes, and then we came back upstairs and like to his computer room, and he's like, "Oh, cool, it's loaded."
Damn. I remember I used to get on the internet, like literally go make myself a sandwich, eat it, watch some TV, and then do whatever dumbass thing I was doing on the internet back then. Like,
Loading one porn image.
Yes.
and then I remember I
Was it worth
got
it?
into like when I was really little, like I like to go onto the AOL chat rooms, and I thought it was
Yes.
just so funny just to talk to strangers and just say the dumbest shit ever.
Dude, that's how
Parents,
my
your
dad and
parents
my
telling you,
stepmom met.
don't talk to strangers.
Oh, my mom freaked out on me one time for talking to some random person on AOL.
That's
I
how
was
my
about to say,
dad and my stepmom met. Yahoo chat.
Wow.
Yahoo chat.
Yahoo
What's
chat.
up?
Just shows how much the
They
time
used to
has
go.
changed.
All right, this is how this worked. My dad used to be in our computer room at the house I grew up in, and he would go in these chat rooms where they would cycle through people and they would just like play music. But what you did was you took your mic and you had to put it by the speaker, and you played the music out your stereo. So like he would like when it was his turn, like it's like kind of like how like if you ever go on like plug.dj like or any of those websites where now it's like you submit. You put the YouTube link for
Yeah,
so when
you
it's your
put the
turn,
YouTube link.
it plays the YouTube video with the song that you want for everybody to hear
Mhm.
in the chat room, basically. But this is like the old school where they would So he would like in his turn to pick a song, and so he would have the mic set up in front of the stereo in the computer room there, have his song playing and stuff, and then like it just so happened like that she was in one of these chats too doing it, like, and she was just going in to listen, and yeah, and like I would always be hearing it coming over like I think we actually did have DSL at the time of this maybe.
You had to have if you streaming stuff.
Yeah,
like
you're
that.
right. Yeah. So yeah, he had DSL, but I remember being in there like just like hearing the quality was just so bad. Like not only is it because like this is early DSL, so it's like still pretty slow, but like I mean phenomenally faster than it was.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
I remember when I first got it.
Yeah, but it was just so funny like hearing that, and like now I can't even believe like I remember the days of like recording off the radio to cassette tapes to make my own. Like that's how I made mixtapes. So for myself, like you have to wait around for the song to come on. And you're like, yes, and you always miss like the first 3 seconds of it or something.
Yep.
Yeah,
I did that.
Yeah.
I used to make my own like radio shows, but I would like try to be different people. Like so, I have a talk boy, which I still have. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I still have it, and I used to like talk to myself and like.
It's just sad. I used to be different people. It's just.
Yeah.
Did we go for too long?
No, I mean.
Nope. I think at some point my headphones got unplugged. Okay, technical difficulties. We're back.
But where did we stop?
Yeah, we don't
I
know where we
have
stopped.
no fucking clue.
Something about Spice World.
I'm-
I think, and
Hope so.
Just start your
Matt
story
having
over.
friends. Matt has friends now.
Yeah, I will start the Spice World story over again.
Yeah.
The story was going to Blockbuster, about 7 years old. My manly older brother was babysitting me. We were renting a movie. Me and my twin brother decided, hey, let's get Spice World. Because that's what everyone at my school was watching at the time. And my big brother was just disappointed. He almost was positive that we were both going to turn out gay.
But
Dude,
only
Only
one.
one.
Did he
Thinking
know?
back on my younger self, like I'm surprised like that my parents didn't like just straight up think I was gonna be gay, because I meant like my music, especially for my music
It was.
choices.
I mean, it was the '90s though. Come
yeah,
on.
I mean my music. I think
Every
the
little
first
kid
few
was
CDs
gay in
I
the
bought
90s.
were-
Yeah, you grew up gay. And you either accepted it or you fought it.
Dude, I think the first like few CDs I owned were like it was both of the Spice Girl albums,
NSYNC.
NSYNC, Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet
Nine-
Boys.
Dude, I had Aqua,
98
the,
Degrees.
the Barbie girl song.
Oh, everyone had that.
The Aqua
I
CD,
mean,
yeah. What else do we have here?
I was a little lucky though because I had older brothers and they were introduced to like Smashing Pumpkins.
See, I had,
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I didn't
I
have
had
that.
Nirvana,
I didn't
Smashing
listen to
Pumpkins.
good music
I mean,
until I met
guys,
you.
You guys were kind of just screwed.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I have an older brother that lives in New York, though, so I saw him during the summers only, and my sister. But me and my older sister, even though she's like 7 years older than me, we still had like for the '90s we had similar music tastes though. But my brother was always like Korn and stuff like that.
Well,
so then
that's-
like when I hit this certain age where it's like you start like you start changing basically puberty, and it's like I went through my phase of like where like I wanted to be more like my brother now. So like even though I'm not around him all the time, like when he was around, I would just like pick up for that 2 months he was there. Like it was a bunch of Korn, and I started like Limp Bizkit, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I had
Limp Bizkit.
chocolate
Oh.
starfish and hot dog flavored water.
What about Linkin Park?
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
some
Linkin Park,
Meteora,
Limp Bizkit,
Hybrid Theory.
I think we
yeah.
all
Green
had
Day.
Blink 182.
Okay, I was all about Green Day for a bit.
My
that
favorite-
and like Rage Against the Machine and
Yeah.
My
I
favorite
had my
band
phases.
was Blink 182 when I was that age.
But yeah, and then I got
Some 41, dude.
Sum
Sum
41.
41.
That was my
Classic.
shit. That was my
Classic.
MySpace song
Dude.
forever.
90s punk rock.
90s pop.
Does this look infected?
Definitely.
one of my
Yeah,
favorite
Yeah, does
albums
this look
ever.
infected?
The Hell song.
Was that even punk rock? It was like pop.
It
No,
was
it
so.
was-
It was
that. I mean,
that was the
Blink
first
182.
The
generation
90s was a weird time. Just
that was the punk rock that we knew, but people from like the 80s when punk punk
I
started
mean,
in
you
like
can't
Britain.
compare that to like Nirvana. That's
No,
punk,
that's
right?
grunge.
Oh, I guess
Yeah,
that's
That's
right.
grunge.
You're
Punk
right.
rock is like Sex Pistols, but then you
Oh,
got
yeah.
underground punk
But-
rock, which was basically the I don't know, just
Yeah,
the
it-
dumb
fucking
shit.
yelling and
Rock is one of those like always been one of those hard genres to ever like. What does this classify as?
Yeah.
Like, this is punk to me, but to someone else, this is something different because they listened to in the 80s what true punk was.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, I go through the same shit with like hip hop. Like, there's still those people that are like, no, hip hop died after like the like mid 90s. Like, what we listen to today is just like, you know, it's pop. And
Yeah,
it's like
hip hop died with Tupac and Biggie.
yeah, it's like
That's-
fucking Biggie. They had
They were great.
they were great, but they had on the scale of things, they had such a huge impact on everything, but by doing nothing for the most part. Like, they were like the two biggest things for their time just because everybody liked them, but Biggie released one album before he died.
One
Yeah.
album?
He had one
Yeah.
album before he died.
Yeah.
He was only a prominent thing for like 2 years before he got killed.
First of all, though, I would like
He had 4 albums come out after his death because he did so much recording in those 2 years that he was, well, like, he was probably an artist for longer. But, yeah, I think he had, and then Tupac, like, he was, I mean, yeah, he was a great rapper and stuff. He only did 2 albums, and
But they both died.
they both died.
So they couldn't do more albums.
Yeah, but it was just like I don't know.
But
They're one of those hard
the
arguments
fact
to
that-
make with the
Well,
music.
first of all, with hip hop, I do think it went through a bad time early 2000s.
Early 2000s was
Yeah.
terrible time
It was
for
just
hip-hop.
like, I don't even want to hear that shit. Like,
Well,
it
okay,
was
but
fun last
during the
night
time-
when we were like
yeah.
listening to it and stuff.
And during the time, there was some good stuff, but that good stuff got mixed, like shadowed by all the terrible shit we got. But we thought that stuff was great at the time. Like,
I
even
mean,
like Little John, MC, like, I don't
when
like,
when hip hop went through that phase, like, because that's
No,
what
but,
hip
I
hop
mean, you
was at
still-
the time. So it was good
you-
at the time, but
You had the Yin Yang Twins. That's
Yeah.
all you needed. The Whisper song was all you needed.
I will say hip hop is definitely making like it's not
so-
the early 2000s anymore.
hip
Like,
hop is
yeah,
it came
it's coming
back.
It's doing
This-
a lot better.
these last like 2 years alone have done so much for hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we're all white. What do we know?
Racist.
Yeah, I mean, we are all white, but at the same time, it's like I've spent the majority of my life listening to it, and like I don't know, like if I'm gonna hold down a discussion of music, I can hold my ground in almost all genres, but hip hop is the one that like it's hard for you to like I don't
That's
ever meet
that's
anyone.
your thing. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
it's,
my
it's the
thing.
thing that you know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, out of everything I know, like I mean, I even like computers and shit. Like I can still hold a conversation about hip hop better than anyone I know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
So-
like I mean, we've all got that thing. Like I think my thing is probably YouTube videos, like actual YouTubers, like
Yeah.
actual YouTubers. I could
anything that has to do with like internet videos, people getting famous from
And see-
podcasts,
and
doing anything that has to do with the internet.
And
pretty
Matt
much.
Matt does the same thing that I do sometimes, and like he'll like start talking about this video, like he's like almost guaranteed to know that I've watched it. Like he'll be like the Vlog Brothers or something like that. Like now I know of them because of him.
I don't
But
know that.
beforehand, it's like before that, like he used to start talking about like, oh, you saw the new Vlog Brothers video from like last week, and I'm like, the who? He's like, the Vlog Brothers. I'm like, no, like, I have no clue
I
what you're
have
talking
not
about.
seen them.
But then like I'll
I
do the
haven't
same
seen
thing with like a song or something like that. I'm like, how have you not heard that? Wait, it's because you're not in the same.
Yeah, exactly. Like I
Yeah.
don't. I listen to more podcasts and audiobooks than I do to music. So, I mean, my go-to is podcasts.
What my thing is.
I don't have a thing either. Don't worry.
Maybe we're just fucking losers. I would say Zelda, but I'm sure some other guy could come over
No,
here
yeah,
and kick my
yeah.
ass with all the conversations because I'm like, oh, awkward in time. He's like, oh no, I'm talking about NES, and I'll be like, oh, I have no idea what.
Well,
you're
see,
talking
I
about.
wouldn't even say like go with like something so specific because like
Yeah, because
yeah,
Zelda
like, 'cause,
is one thing.
That'd be like me picking out like one rapper that I
Yeah,
could just talk
right.
for days about. Like it's like
Of
as
course
a, as a
you're
But
whole.
you could do that though.
I could. There's multiple I could go on for days about, but
I could talk about fast food all day.
I can
There
talk
you go.
about fast food.
We could all. I'm pretty sure we could all talk about fast food for a bit.
We
And
are
we're all
in
skinny
Texas.
as hell. What the hell?
we're all
Actually,
skinny and we live in Texas, so it's fast food is everywhere.
I feel like I have a good ground on movies. I'm a big
Yeah.
movie buff.
Dude, I love movies. Dude.
Maybe that's my thing. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just trying to
I
give
don't-
myself a thing. I don't know.
You don't even need a thing, dude. Your thing is girls.
The ladies, man.
Ladies, he's a lady killer.
I think that could be Hunter's thing too.
No, dude. I just have my type. That's it. Everybody knows my type. That's it.
Hunter, you're just so like. Your thing is
Versatile.
you don't. Yeah, you're so versatile in so many different things. Like you have your like comic knowledge, but then I also always look at you as like the film guy. But then at the same time, you're like a gamer guy. It's like, but you're not like
He's just
super into.
the nerd.
You're not. You're not.
I'm the character you pick on the RPG when you don't know what
The
you want to
neutral one.
be, and you're just like, I'll just pick this guy.
He's
the
level.
easy
He's
choice.
all level. His
Yeah,
stats
because
are
like
leveled
there's
out.
not one thing that I just like associate to you, but at the same time, it's like Hunter can hold his ground in any of those things.
Yeah.
But it's not like he's.
Bring it on.
Yeah, but yeah, he can hold his ground in like any of those subjects, but at the same time, I don't just associate you as one of those things. So I don't know. Yeah.
I accept that.
Should we get back to the 2013 topic?
Yes.
About 20 minutes
We
ago.
went into the past.
More like an hour ago.
So if you guys want to know what happens in 1990s,
Hit us up. We got that covered too.
Back to present.
Sorry.
how do we even jump back to president?
Either
so-
wrap it up or an intermission soon.
Yeah.
We could wrap it up. I mean, how long?
we can
is
start
it?
wrapping it up.
What all
We're
do
at
we
an
even have
hour
left?
11 right now.
We can, if we want to do.
Can we have some honorable mentions for?
Yeah, I would like to
rest of
say
this?
probably Gravity is probably one of my favorite movies that I saw this year.
Gravity was
That was a journey.
great.
But we also didn't.
a journey.
I mean, we got like 4 movies that we just talked about that could potentially be movies of the year.
Okay, can we just get a good list of all the good movies that came out this year? Because I just need to get a good
right.
reminder.
I mean,
That's the hard thing. Like starting to go. Like,
Oblivion came out this year.
I
After Earth.
never saw.
Oblivion was the Tom Cruise one.
Oh wait, I did see Oblivion. It was good.
It was good, but it was forgettable, right?
It was.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
because it was almost a whole year ago. That came out in like
Yeah.
Early.
quarter.
That came out that came out in fucking
Was it a
May.
summer movie?
Yeah,
Well,
it came out in May.
What were the
Okay,
big
May's
blockbusters?
beginning of the second
Like,
quarter.
The
That
big
was- that
blockbusters
was
aren't
suppo-
coming.
The summer,
they
the
didn't
summer
come.
blockbusters though.
There weren't
They
huge
were
ones. Like the biggest
not-
one.
Spider-Man. Did Spider-Man come out?
I
this
think
No,
year?
that was
last
last
year.
year.
So
So
lost.
the 2 big movies that came out
Dude,
this year are
This year
Superman
was
and
a
Iron
blur,
Man
I'm telling
3.
you.
Those
that,
are not the two.
that-
big
that
movies
was-
Those were the 2
And
movies that made the
Pacific
most
Rim.
money.
Pacific Rim.
Was
those were
Pacific Rim,
the
but
three
it didn't
big
make
ones.
as much money as Superman and Iron Man.
See, I
Because
even feel
those
like
were
Avengers
expensive.
was the summer, but that was last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Like,
that was last March.
2013
Yeah.
just didn't happen in
Give me
my
some,
eyes.
give me some
We-
like
we
movies that
missed.
have some stories, not Avengers and Iron Man.
Those
Yeah,
were the
that's the
blockbusters,
thing.
though.
Like
Yeah, those are the
movies
blockbusters.
get-
Those are the movies that
those-
almost
well,
defined the year.
The ones you're talking about, though, Daniel, those are the ones that come out like around this time of year
Yeah.
because they want
Yeah.
to be right before Oscars,
Okay.
so they get remembered for it.
That's what I'm saying. The big blockbusters are coming.
Like
They
I
are.
said,
Did-
Great
didn't-
Gatsby came out this
Was
year.
Silver?
Lining-
Silver
that was
Lining-
last
that was
year.
last
That
year.
was
I
last
was
year.
about to say,
That's-
I knew
'cause
that
she
was
won
either
an Oscar
early.
for that.
I was about to say that was either early this year or last year.
Yeah, because that was around the, like the Les Mis.
What
and, like,
about
High and
the
all
one
those
with
huge
the
ones.
Matt Damon?
Elysium.
Elysium. I never saw it.
I never got
but-
to watch that.
I saw it like
Another
3
potential
times.
could have been Halo.
Pretty
movie.
cool.
Yeah, another like
Same
apparently
guy.
because he was supposed to make the Halo movie,
And
and then he made District 9 instead.
He really could though. He
and
could
then
really do
and
it.
then
he made
Elysium and
Elysium,
put a
which
fucking
is
Halo in it.
basically like a Halo type movie.
Well, I
It's
never
got
saw
like
it.
the exoskeleton with like the futuristic like ring world basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a Halo.
It's a Halo.
It wasn't quite a Halo. He might be
I
going
mean,
there
plot
with
wise,
it.
it had nothing to do with it, but like
Let him put out a few more movies, and I guarantee you his alien creations from
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't want
District
to
9.
like
District 9, and then
he doesn't want to fuck
his-
up the Halo movie.
Yeah,
so
exactly. He's
putting
testing
elements of each one. Like yeah, he did.
Nobody
District
wants to
9,
fuck up
which
the
was
Halo
like the
movie.
aliens because he could
That's
easily
gonna
tweak
divide
those
them.
aliens into being the
Yep.
a covenant. The aliens from District
Exactly.
9 could easily become the covenant.
That's what his
and then
plot
he
was.
put a fucking
put-
Halo in Elysium so people could see that on screen and get the reaction he wants. Like, oh, does this look good? And okay, yeah, everybody
Yeah,
liked it.
I feel like he's
the
just
weapons,
testing everything.
the weapon
Weapons, the
testing,
The weapon.
in both of them just amazing. But I mean, the suits, the mechs. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Those-
mean, all you have to do
I was
is put a
surprised that
helmet
Warthog
on.
didn't show up in either one
Yeah,
of those movies.
I know.
to be
This
honest.
next movie's gonna have a big Jeep with a turd on it.
Because you do know that they built like a whole fleet of those Warthogs because when they were about to actually make the Halo movie and then they decided not to. A couple of them got saved and we saw those in the
Waiting
Forward
for-
Unto Dawn.
Forward Unto Dawn, yeah.
But and then like I think one of the gaming companies had bought one and then wrecked it.
Yeah, because they're not street legal. Like they've been in like parades and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
But
Okay,
there was just
I got a
video
couple more
online.
movies.
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
No, see,
Hobbit was a good movie.
Hobbit was
We got-
great.
They,
the new Hobbit.
we got
yes,
2 of them this
the new
year.
Hobbit.
No,
No, the
one of
other
them
one
came out
last
last
year.
year.
I thought it was early.
They're
this year.
doing December to December to December.
Catching Fire.
Oh
Great
yeah,
movie.
Catching
I
Fire.
told
that
them,
was really
how
good,
do we keep
actually.
That was
forgetting
a-
these
that was
movies?
That was
I've seen
like
them
2 weeks ago.
I've seen them like 3 times each though. Like some of these big movies. I've
Catching
been like,
Fire was pretty good.
I never
Yeah.
saw this, but Star Trek Into the Darkness.
Mm.
Never
Oh,
saw it either.
that was really good. A lot of people gave that shit, but
I liked it.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a good movie.
Man of Steel was this year.
I
Man of
still have
Steel.
not seen it, but
Never saw
I
it.
just got it.
I have a list right now, and I haven't seen most of it. Hangover Part 3.
I
Anyone
actually
see?
never watched that.
Hangover
I
Part
didn't want
3.
to.
Were they what?
It was Back to Vegas, wasn't it?
Yeah,
No, didn't see it.
Back
What-
to
I
Vegas.
saw 2. I didn't see.
All I
3.
remember
Yeah, I
about it
never
is
saw
that there
three
in the trailer there was a giraffe that
They
hits a
they
bridge.
behead the
Yep.
giraffe that
Yep.
decapitated.
Did
on the
anyone see
overpass.
the new Thor movie? Apparently
That one?
that
I-
Nope.
got
No.
good.
Thor
I
Into
watched.
Darkness?
I had it on in the background. Well, cause never
Yeah,
mind.
sure.
Ah, we know where you're going.
The Lone Ranger.
I mean, I was in the theater
Yeah,
watching.
Johnny Depp.
See, that was another one that could have been big.
didn't
That
get-
wasn't.
No,
Ender's Game could have been huge.
I
No,
told
it
you.
wasn't.
Why? Why wasn't it though? I thought it was
Because
supposed
because the you can't make it just cost too much money to make, and it was an independent movie,
to be- Okay.
and it didn't have the budget. It just didn't have the marketing
They
budget.
made it. Okay, they had to wait this long to be able to make the movie for it like that, but at the same time, it was way past the time anyone cared about Ender's Game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I would have shit my pants about it when I read it when I was fucking
That's
10.
why like these
But-
Hunger Games stuff are working because the books recently came out and then they're making the movies.
They're-
Yeah. Like Game of Thrones, that's probably like one of the rare occurrences of like they're basing like because even though one of the books just came out, but the first one was back from like 94, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
something
so
that.
like for them to just start the show 3 years ago, that was a risk to be basing off of like some
Yeah.
literature that from that.
Yeah,
long
but
ago,
it's still
it's
so
amazing. Yeah.
You know, you're right. These are all like not very blockbuster
They weren't the
movies.
big movies like
This,
this.
this
year.
was
Fast
not
Six.
a
this
good
was
year,
not a
like
movie year,
Furious Six.
except for
Furious
these
6.
movies that are
Or
literally coming out
It
now.
might save it.
But these movies that
Wolf
are
of
coming
Wall
out
Street is
aren't going to
my-
be the
my
ones
big-
that make money.
Wolf
You
of
know?
Wall Street,
They
yeah.
might. I think the movie that defined the year for me was Gravity.
Yeah.
Gravity was the
We
big
all-
movie.
Gravity's
that
We
was
not
got,
big.
on
we
this
got a lot of
list.
good trailers this year.
Yeah, trailers are amazing.
So for like Godzilla.
Yeah,
Oh my
we
God,
got
that
Godzilla,
was so
that new
sweet.
Tom Cruise movie
Next-
that looks like a
next-
fucking video
That
game.
does look sweet.
It looks
yeah, that-
sick as
amazing.
hell.
Well, I mean, the next year, I mean, not just with movies, but I mean, video games that are coming out for the PS1 and for the PS4 and the Xbox One. Sorry, words are fucking hard.
I'm never gonna hate
but I
Microsoft
mean,
for calling it the Xbox One. I still don't understand their logic behind that.
It's fucking
Just leave it
stupid.
alone.
yeah,
just let
just
it go.
accept it. But I mean, this year was basically a setup for 2014.
Yeah, it was a setup year. I mean,
I'm okay with that. I don't have money. I didn't have
exactly.
money. Actually, I did have money this year, but
2014 is our year.
it's our year.
It's gonna be the year. Of
We're bringing the
entertainment.
64 back.
No, it's our year to get 1990s back.
I'm okay with all that except for the way we dressed.
Yeah, I can.
What,
deal with
dude?
that.
You don't
And our
like
music
tying?
tastes.
Windbreakers.
You don't like tying your windbreaker around your waist?
That's the 80s.
Just
dude.
anything-
90s is flannel.
Anything
around
in
the
that,
waist.
that nylon fabric or those neon colors, dude.
Hey.
That-
What about the zip-off cargo shorts?
I was about to.
Instant shorts.
Dude, they were such a good
Jeans,
idea because
instant shorts.
they were so versatile, but at the same time, it's like, why,
Dude, parachute pants.
No, I remember sixth
Lots
grade.
of pockets.
Sixth grade, I owned
Just realized
a pair of the zip-off cargo
Yep.
shorts, and fucking greatest idea because all my classes, I happen to be on like the fucking like special team 6E, which they were supposed to be like the gifted kids, but they were. They stuck us out in the fucking porta potties, the fucking portable buildings
They got us
that were
away
just
from all the
shit.
stupid kids.
Yeah,
That's how
I
felt
was
about
still-
it.
Yeah, but I mean, most of those kids that were there ended up getting like, they were great. They
Yeah.
were the kids that got cheated off of. So,
Those are the smarties.
but I
And then
remember
got
sitting
smart
there.
and became one of those people that just started to cheat off of them.
Yeah. And I remember sitting there. I remember sitting there with those pants on. I was like, I am fucking hot. Halfway through class, just zip, shorts, breeze, best time ever. I was so happy.
Hunter, how did you change pants so quick? I didn't. I unzipped my.
The bottom of my head's like, gone, bitches.
They're in my backpack right now.
Okay. I mean,
Alright,
we're at an
guys.
hour 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
What's a good ending for our first podcast?
Look, you guys want to end it with a swear?
Hey,
Now
how we're gonna end it?
2013, YOLO.
The year of the YOLO. It wasn't. That was last year.
No.
And